Welcome back, everyone, to another incredible episode of Chat with Dan here. For today, we have on the show, what can I say? The incredible, the epic, the one and only, super badass, the legendary Carla. Carla, how are you today?
I'm good.
There you go. What better way to have an incredible, super badass day than to be chatting with someone as badass as you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. Couldn't ask for more right now. Love it. Now, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow. Helps a lot. But most important, on the description below, you're gonna find all of Carla's social media. Let's follow her, and let's find out why she's super badass. Now, without further more, let's make this happen. So, I'm gonna start this whole conversation by throwing out the first question, which is, what drew you into acting in the first place?
So for me, I got really into acting because gave me the confident boost. As a kid, I grew up very shy and I just wanted to go hide under couches or under something, under a desk or anything. I was never the kid to go and say, "Hey, pick me. I have to answer the question," or "I want to read for class." And so in sixth grade, I actually got into drama, acting classes, and my acting teacher actually told me, "Hey, I think you should either pursue this or continue doing it because it gives you a lot of confidence to what you're doing and everything." And so after sixth grade, I actually didn't do it again until about 11th grade.
Okay.
That's when I found, yeah, and that's when I found my acting coach I'm currently with. And so I jumped into that opportunity and I've had lots of fun. My agent and my acting coach love to say the story about when they first met me. I had my hair just in front of my face like this the whole time, um, and I didn't really want to talk. But now I'm teaching, I'm acting and performing, so it's given me a lot of good confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. You're making it happen, and that is incredible because it takes. Let's face it. It takes a lot of guts to actually pursue something that kind of makes you
Mhm.
happy. That is kind of your passion. I know that we sometimes tend to think like, oh, do what makes you happy, but we all know that it's really challenging for you to step up into this thing that you love the most, and at the same time, since you love it, it also makes you feel vulnerable, right? Because
Mhm.
you love it, and you don't want like nothing bad happen to it.
Yeah.
But so yeah, it's part of the whole experience, I say.
Mm.
Cool. Now tell me, like, how do you approach preparing for a new role? Do you have like what techniques or methods do you find most effective?
So when I was taking classes, I have been given a lot of good methods to go and create characters and work with the scene. And I actually just incorporated every single method I've learned and I just put them jumbled into a ball. And I uh, been working with that. So just to name a couple methods that I use, Meisner, method acting, and I'm currently learning a new method as well that's gonna give more depth to my performances. I can't say it right now, but I am learning it, and I'm going and I'm teaching it as well. So a lot of my students get the information from it, and I find that teaching as well as putting it into my own performances is helped me a lot to give that depth to that character. So I really just prepare by gathering all the information and throwing it into the moment and into what the character is living.
Right. And what has been the most challenging role you've undertaken, and how did you overcome those challenges, let's say?
So for me, one of my biggest challenges in acting was crying and being vulnerable on camera. And I actually was able to overcome that recently, actually during an audition. I had an audition and crying again, right? It was the biggest challenge for me. And so I got to the point where I was just so in the moment and I brought a bunch of my own experiences and memories to it as well. And it allowed me to be in that moment and allowed me to jump into it and jump and start falling in the moment. So that big challenge for me was of course that crying and being able to challenge myself and be vulnerable on the camera. actually made me really excited. And my acting coach, who was actually helping me for the audition because it was a self tape, she actually got super excited because I've been with her for so long, and then by the time I was able to actually cry, she got excited, I got excited, and it was just a very happy moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, yeah, like what I love the most about, when an actor prepares a character is like the whole effort they put behind the scenes that we just don't know about, And but here's the thing: once you find, yeah, like once you're seeing it, either in theater, TV, or in the cinema, you can totally tell, like whenever an actor went, like really went for it. You know what I mean? Like took actual care of it. That went like one step at a time to present something that somehow, I mean, you want to make it as relatable as possible, which is really cool. And yeah, I mean, basically, I love that. Like I love asking this question because you can tell like the whole effort they put to it, which is amazing. I mean, that basically it's more than just learn your lines. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
incredible. And tell me, are there any rituals or routines that you follow to get into character before either filming or performing?
So what I like to do, before I even get to set, so if I'm driving to a set, what I'll do is I'll actually start screaming affirmations. So affirmations being, "Hey, I'm confident. I got this." Just some positive uplifting. Then I'll jump in doing some tongue twisters. So red leather, yellow leather. How can you cram a clam into a clean cream can? Things just like that. And I just constantly say them so that way when I do go on set and I do play that character, then I can not stumble on my words. And then I also listen to really upbeat music and I just start dancing in my car as I'm in that moment to really bring up the energy.
Hmm. And how do you balance portraying a character, authentically, while still bringing your own unique style and personality to the role?
So I do a lot of what Meryl Streep does, where she finds herself in the character. So what I'll do is, if I've had a role in that time to work on that character, I'll develop the character first, and then I'll take that time to see, okay, what can I relate to the character that allows me to play the character truthfully and also into my own unique style. If I don't have time to create that character, let's say an audition and I only have a couple hours to work with it, then I'll get into that moment of, okay, what do I see in the lines that my character is saying that gives me some detail and helps me understand where the character is coming from, and then what I can add of my own uniqueness to that character by comparing myself to them.
And tell me, have you ever experienced a breakthrough during, yeah, like where, like during a performing, like let me re-ask that. Have you ever experienced a breakthrough moment where a role or performance significantly impacted you in your acting career?
I would go back to that crying because that was a moment of vulnerability and being able to be vulnerable on the camera. And so crying on camera again was a big challenge. So I overcame that. And it's also something that um, really affected me as an actor because it
Mhm.
allowed me to go deeper in that moment.
Okay. And what do you find the most rewarding about being an actor, both personally and at the same time professionally?
Well, personally, I love being able to play a character that people can relate to and connect with. My whole thing with acting is I want to be that voice for others who don't feel like they have a voice. So people who are struggling with their mental health, for example, right? And they feel like no one can connect. They can't connect to anyone. And so I want to be that voice to say, hey, you can come connect with me and put away that side for now and just feel like I've gone so far in my life and to look at that and see, okay, hey, I can do this too. So that's personally for me. Professionally, actually just getting to work with professionals in the industry and getting to hear their stories and understand where they've come from. And yeah.
Hmm. I love it. And tell me, like, how do you navigate? the highs and the lows of the entertainment industry. And what advice would you give to aspiring actors who are facing the similar challenges?
So, as we all know, that the strike happened a couple months ago. Finally finished with that. There was a lot of lows at that moment where there wasn't a lot of auditions and everything. So, what I tend to do when there is a low is I jump into it and I go into teach a training. So I'll get
Totally.
into training and I'll train myself to get into the moment. So that way, when it does pick up again, then I have that training and I'm one step ahead of those actors who sit back and they sulk or they victimize themselves. So, my advice to people who are experiencing those lows right now is just to train, jump into it, train, get to the point where you are ready. So when the highs eventually come back, because they will come back, you are ready to do those auditions, and you're not just sitting there going, "Oh, it's back, and I have a ton of auditions, and I haven't done anything." So I do that, and I also do content creation. So I go and I'll find monologues that I want to work with, and then I'll film. I'll work on them, and then I'll film them, and then I also post other things as well with my content creation. So that's what I usually do with the lows. The highs, if I have a ton of auditions, I'll try to ground myself at points. So working on myself. So I'm really into meditation and yoga. So I'll make sure I have time for those things as well. So that way, when it is a high and I'm starting to feel overwhelmed and stressed, I go back to working on that meditation and yoga to really help me ground myself.
Okay, okay. I love it. And are there any dream roles or projects you aspire to pursue any time in the future?
My biggest dream and goal is to be working on a Marvel production. I've loved Marvel for as long as I can remember. Deadpool being my favorite movie. So currently at the moment, I've watched Deadpool, the first Deadpool, a good 20, 25 times. I love it so much. And then the second one, and then I'm super excited for the third one that's coming out. I've watched other Marvel movies as well, the Avengers, all of that, and just I really want to experience it and work with those amazing people and individuals.
Yeah, it would be awesome. I like that. Yes. And who knows? Maybe at some point you will even have your own action figure.
Exactly.
That would be badass. Just saying.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And tell me, like, what role do you believe storytelling plays in society? And how do you see the actor's role in shaping narratives?
So I find that storytelling really helps allow people to forget about their lives a little bit. So they can, if they're having a bad day or they just are bored, right? They can go into that fantasy land. They can go into the fantasy world and the fantasy land of this character and be able to connect with them and pull from out of their life and start living with this character and going through the highs and lows of this character. And I find that that connection is really important, especially with all the social media and all the doom scrolling we all do, right? So we go into it and we get rid of that doom scrolling, right? We connect with those characters and in their lives in that moment. And that's where you get people binge watching, forgetting about
Yeah.
their life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do think that sometimes, right? Yeah. I mean, yeah. So the first thing is, I think during COVID, like during COVID, we kind of saw how important entertainment is for us, right? I mean,
Mhm.
like I sometimes think that perhaps we took it for granted, and during COVID when we saw that it was kind of that there were not yeah, that there were nothing new, let's say, we took on the previous thing that has been released, and it was incredible like how many people were just binge watching a show or taking
Mhm.
time to watch some films, TV shows, like all of that. I think like that's where everyone like really understood that how important entertainment is for us, and that we should actually enjoy it. I mean, at the end, it's for us to enjoy it and all of that, but I do think that we should like took it, yeah, to actually value it, because as I was saying, COVID was kind of the message here that you never know what I mean? So
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. Awesome. And tell me, like, what motivates you? we all have those days that basically we just want to quit. It's inevitable, happens to all of us. So how you maintain yourself positive in a moment that perhaps, might be difficult for you?
So, like I said, I get into working on content creation and all of that, but I'm also really into the meditation and the yoga. So, in moments where I'm feeling overwhelmed or I'm just having the moment of um, the forget what the term is for it, but I'm thinking that I'm not supposed to be doing this and I'm having all
Hmm.
this anxiety and everything.
Yep.
What I'll do is I'll take a step back and I'll take a break day. So I'll take that moment of, okay, I need to take a break. I'll go, and I love hiking. So I'll go and I'll hike. I'll go out in nature to really help me revitalize myself and understand, okay, that's just, it's just a bad day. It's not a bad life. And have that mentality with it of, all right, now I can get back into it. I revitalize myself and I have more energy. So now I can go back into it. And if I am experiencing more anxiety, then going into that meditation, doing some yoga, taking some time for myself.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, we're humans, and we're complicated sometimes, and we need time to regroup some, every now and then, get new ideas, get fresh, and then come back. And I think that is something that yeah, it's normal because I do think that sometimes, right, this idea that sometimes the media puts that you are going to do it 24/7, right? You are not gonna stop. You are relentless, like and all of that. And perhaps for some people might work, which is fine. But at least to me, but at least to me, I'm more like, you know what? Yeah, sure. But there's moments in which I feel a little bit down, so I just need to
Mhm.
regroup, go out for a while, and then return again with full force. You know what I mean? So
Mhm. Yeah, exactly.
there you go. I like that. And you know what? My last question, so we can all enjoy and relax after a couple of difficult, incredible, awesome questions. Now here it is. What do you think that would be the best title for this episode?
Hmm. It's a good question. Um, maybe ways to find to relax and understand that the industry isn't you don't always have to go up with it, right? So maybe hmm, amazing, relaxing ways to stay motivated.
Amazing ways to stay motivated.
Yeah,
So that's gonna be the title. Like whenever you check it on YouTube or Spotify or Apple, that's gonna appear.
yeah.
Okay.
Or you could go amazing tips with Carla.
Oh, I like that. Sounds like a franchise to me already.
Hmm.
There you go. Amazing tips with Carlo. Yeah, sounds fresh, sounds cool, sounds interesting. I'll take
Hmm.
it. There you
Awesome.
go. I mean, at the end, what can I say? The fact that you're pursuing something that makes you happy, as I was saying
Hmm.
before, I mean, we all know that it's super difficult, but the fact that you're doing it, the fact that you're making it happen, I think that's super awesome. That's badass for sure. But also,
Hmm.
like during this whole chat, and to see how much care you put into those little details, either creating a character or to stay motivated, or like all of that. I mean, it shows that you love it, and that is incredible. And it also makes, and also it shows everyone that when we see you either on a film or any kind of project, if we see your name on it, we're totally sure that it's going to be incredible because of the amount of care that you put to it. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
There you go. I also want to thank those who tune in. Thank you so much. If you're new to the channel, as I was saying before, on the description below, you're gonna find all of Carla's social media. Now we found out why she's super badass. So let's make her viral. Hashtag Team Carla. And again, thank you for making this happen. Keep rocking out there. Keep shining. Keep being super badass. And I'll see you in the next one.